Good morning, fellow CrossFit enthusiasts, and welcome to episode 5 of season 3 of Good Morning Murph, your functional fitness podcast made with love in Austria. And if any one of you had told me 2 years ago that one day I'm going to be interviewing a CrossFit Games podium athlete, I would not have believed you. But today is the day, and I can introduce to you the second fittest female athlete of 2019, 8 times CrossFit Games athlete, former pole vault national champion, and founder of Kriger training, where she's now sharing her secrets to make others successful. And oh boy, I can tell you, it is working. And of course, I'm talking about the Norwegian legend, Kristin Holte. It is so awesome to have you on the podcast. Welcome to Good Morning Murph.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
It is an honor to have you, Kristin. You did pole vaulting? What?
I did a lot of things growing
You
up.
did a lot of things. I think pole vaulting may be the extraordinary one. When was it, like roughly?
Yeah, I did pole vault from I was like 16 years old until about 22, 23. When
Okay, and you became national champion. That's impressive.
I did indoor national champion, but
Indoor national champion.
like I was pretty good, but not great. I wish I could have been better, but it was just like it was not for me. Too many injuries for that.
Okay. Actually, when I did some research for this podcast, you got me very, very confused because I was looking for recent news of Kristin Holte, and basically all I could find was some cross-country skiing, some pictures, and you placed 3rd in some race. I'm sure I'm going to pronounce it incorrectly. Kjekstadmarkarund?
Yeah, it's not bad. That was not bad. Kjekstadmarkarund. Yeah, I actually placed 2nd.
Sorry.
But yeah, that was a 20-kilometer skating competition, cross country.
And was it just for fun, or?
It was for fun, yes. But a friend of mine also joined, and she is actually a cross country skier. So I think just for me, like I need to have something like a goal to train for. So that was like I just registered for that, and I knew that okay, that will get me outside. It will get me outside to train for it.
Yeah.
And it did.
And I believe there is some family history in cross-country skiing, no? Isn't your father Geir Holte? I believe he actually competed in the Olympics in 1984 at Sarajevo, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So there is some family history in cross-country skiing.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Of course, we're not here today to talk about cross-country skiing, not only about cross-country skiing. Kristin, you surprised everybody, or at least you surprised me in 2024 in October when you returned to competition in CrossFit. Maybe if that's okay for you, I would like to travel back in time to year 2021, look a bit at your last competitions, and then talk about your most recent like CrossFit Open, how you did, how you competed. Can we do that? Is that okay?
Of course.
Perfect. I want to travel back in time with you to year 2021. Let's be more specific, August 2021. The CrossFit Games, event number 15 is over. I believe place 1 and 2 was already settled, and it was a battle between you and Annie Thorsdottir for the last podium place. In the end, you finished 4th at the Games with over 1,000 points. And only shortly after, on August 4th, 2021, you posted something on Instagram. It was a picture of you with a barbell overhead. And I want to just read the first couple sentences so I can give the viewers and the listeners like a better understanding what I'm talking about. You said, "The last dance. I have dedicated my life to becoming the best CrossFit athlete that I could be for the past 8 years. The 2021 CrossFit Games showcased that hard work over time really pays off. I have become a well-rounded athlete who can run fast, but also lift heavy weights. And I finally feel like I'm coming close to reaching my potential as an athlete. It's not all over yet, but this was Holte's last dance in the Coliseum." That was in August 2021. Kristin, my first question is, when exactly did you decide that 2021 was going to be your last CrossFit Games?
I was originally planning on 2020 to be my final year, because I had like there was some injuries, and they were like, I felt like I didn't really have the fire in me anymore. But then with everything happening with COVID and online games in 2020, I didn't feel like that was like a proper finish to my career. So that's why I wanted to dedicate one more year of just giving my absolute best and seeing how good I could be. And that was for me the motivation I needed to just push everything I got for one more year. So I decided probably right after Games 2020 that I would do one more year, but that was going to be my last.
That was going to be it. Okay. I read a lot of media articles, like in research for this podcast, about you like ending your career a couple of years ago. And a lot of them said that you were still quite young. It was quite early in your career, even though you were doing it for 8 years. Would you agree? Or like, besides the small injuries you had, was there another major motivation to say, okay, it's enough now?
If they said that I was quite young, I think they were mistaken, because I retired when I was 36. So I would say quite old, but I started when I was 26. So I started when I was a little older than a lot of the other athletes nowadays. But for me, like, I wanted to have a family. That was one thing, and I always wanted to like stop on my own terms. Like when I did pole vault, I had to stop because of injuries.
Okay.
That just broke my heart, because it wasn't my decision. I was just forced to quit, and I did not want to have that ending in CrossFit. So now I felt like my body felt better than in a long time. I felt like I was like peaking performance-wise as well. But for me, it was a good way to finish it off, like being on top of what I could do, and just going out with a bang. That felt like a good way to finish it off for me. And knowing that I still was able to like train. I didn't have any injuries that stopped me from still doing CrossFit, but just it was not my number one priority anymore.
Actually, after the CrossFit Games 2021, you did one more competition, quite a legendary one. It was Dubai Fitness Championships in December, I believe, in 2021.
Yeah, I actually did 5 more competitions after that. But yeah, one of them was Dubai. But yeah,
one of them was Dubai.
Yeah. I competed a lot because I just wanted to, like, for once, I wanted to do all the off-season competitions and have fun with it without any pressure. So I did Rogue, I did Dubai, I did the World Championship in Functional Fitness, National Championship in Functional Fitness, and then I did the Wodapalooza on the team.
Why I remember the DFC so vividly is because I remember like the part of the live stream. I believe it was after the last event, when all the athletes and all the media team and all the stuff, they all gathered in the middle of the competition floor. And I remember you walking up and down. I believe it was quite emotional for you. The commentator, they said your name. They said it's going to be your last indie competition. Do you remember that moment as vividly as I do?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I'll never forget that. That was a special moment. Like, I feel like that whole year was just special because I knew that everything was for the last time in that way. So I tried to soak in every moment of every competition.
And back then, when the Dubai Fitness Championships in December, when they ended, when you had your last competition, was it for you, did you have a totally clear picture what should happen next? Was it for you 100% clear, I'm going to do A, B, C? Or was it more like, okay, that part's over, we'll see what comes?
Yeah, I always knew that I needed to have something to like work for, train for, have some kind of goals. And in the beginning, it was just like work related, but I found it really hard to like just do that because I was working constantly, like all day long. I didn't even have like set aside time to train, because like that's how I am. I like, if I set a goal, I go all in on it. So I figure like, okay, I can't really go all in on the work. I need to have a little bit of balance here too. I need to have something else to work for, like to train for, or to give me motivation to train. Because now, like, I didn't really see why I would train, because it wouldn't really lead to anything. And I know a lot of people like found this strange, but for me, it was not. I'm not training for health right now, because I've been there like competitor on the top level. So it was just like, it felt waste to train now because it wouldn't lead to a competition. So it took quite a time to before I like found a good routine for what I was gonna do. But I didn't really have a plan. I knew that I needed to put more time into work. I wanted to have family, and there was other things, like I wrote a book, and there were a lot of other things that I didn't really have time for when I was a full-time athlete, that I set aside time to do now.
And even back in 2021, when you decided, okay, that's gonna be it for indie competition, was there like this very teeny tiny thought in the back of your head that maybe one day you're gonna return?
I thought that I'm like, maybe I'll do some competitions for fun if I feel like it. I wasn't 100% like I will never be on a competition floor again, but it needed to be in another like setting, or in other terms that it had been the last 8 years.
Yeah.
So I knew that I was done like being a full-time athlete, but I also knew that I needed something else to work for and train for. So yeah.
Now let's travel to 2024, like basically 3 years later. Oslo Throwdown 2024 actually was the first competition I know of that you competed again in. Actually, I was there. I saw you competing live. It was the elite team competition with your co-worker or coach. Remind me of his name.
Joachim Rig.
Joachim Rig, because I cannot pronounce it. I read it, but I have no idea how to pronounce it. And a lot happened between Oslo Throwdown and your last competition in 2021. You became a mother of your baby boy, I think. Leo is his name?
Theo, yes.
Theo, sorry. Theo is his name. Yeah. You founded Kriger Training, or was it actually already found before? I'm not sure. When was the founding date of Kriger Training? Is there a specific year?
Yeah, that was in 2020. So
2020.
Yeah. So we turned 4 this past fall.
So you did that, and all of a sudden in October, as I said, Oslo Throwdown 2024. Why Oslo Throwdown 2024? How come that was the first competition where we see you again?
That was Joachim's idea. He says that I always promised him to do a team competition with him.
Okay.
We talked a lot about that, joked a lot about it, and we actually was gonna do a team competition back in 2021 or 2020. But then I injured my back, so I was not able to do that competition. So this he just tagged me in this post that it was gonna be an elite competition, team of 2, and I was like, this is a good goal for me, and a good way for us to do something other than work together, so we can actually train together again. We started back as training partners when we first met in 2014, 2015.
Okay, and quite a while ago.
Yeah, and then he's been my coach for a long time, and then we became business partners. And now I feel like this was a great way to just go back to the roots and to be able to train a little bit together again. And it was like on home soil, 20 minutes from my home, so it was no stress to do it. And I think that was a good challenge, and I'm really happy that we did it. It was so much fun especially to train together leading up to the competition, but also just to be out there and being on the team, which I haven't done that much.
And I mean, you've been on the competition floor at Oslo Throwdown with, I believe there was Mathilde Gans, there was Marianne Jonsson, so a lot of people that you actually train and work with every day. I believe that's a lot of fun as well, to return to a competition where you know everybody, even on the competition floor.
Yeah, it was special for sure.
It was a great competition. I really enjoyed it there. There was a lot of media about when they saw that you're competing again, about your comeback, and Kristin Holte is back in competition. And I actually saw on your Instagram a reel which is titled "Don't Call It a Comeback." So you were very specific that you do not want to call it a comeback. Why not?
Because it's not a comeback.
It's not a comeback? What is it then?
No, it's I don't know. Do I have to call it anything?
No.
I'm just out there having fun and doing what I love. But it's not Kristin Holte coming back from where I was, like back in 2021. This is a totally different version, and it's a different. I'm not there like to prove anything or to show myself or to qualify for something. I'm just there because I love to compete and I love to have something to train for. So I feel like that is very different. It's a very different mindset for me. And I'm not a full-time athlete anymore. I do train, but it's like that's my third or fourth priority during the day. So it's just a different setting, and yeah, if I was coming back, I would have to like prioritize my training and the competition more.
So are you nowadays having more fun doing it than back in like 2020, 2021?
Yeah, it's a different kind of fun. Like there's less pressure. And like the training that I do now is like, if I have time for 1 hour, I'll do that. If I have time for 2 hours, I'll do that. I'll do whatever I have time for. But I don't go like the whole day preparing for my training session. It's very different. So it's more, yeah, because like it's more based off of like feeling, and I'm having fun. I'm doing what I think is fun. I don't do that much the things that I don't like. Okay. That shows also like in performance, but that's okay because I've chosen that myself. Okay. But I really enjoy like being an athlete and putting my absolute best effort into all the details and every single piece of actually being an athlete. But now it's like when I don't have that mindset, it's also fun to see that I can still be competitive, even though I don't prioritize recovery. I don't eat how I know I should. I don't get enough sleep. But it's still fun. But other things are more important to me right now.
Talking about competing and not comparing, but seeing what's different now than it was before. You not only did Oslo Throwdown, you also did Dubai 2024, where you placed 5th. And you are in the Open. You are in the CrossFit Open 2025. You're not only in the Open, you're crushing the Open. I said that before. I know the leaderboard is not final. The last time I looked, you were 7th in the world. Now you just mentioned it yourself. You don't have as much time. You can't prioritize it. Still, you're in the top 10 of the planet. How's that possible? You train so much less, but that's your third best Open ranking ever. How is that even? How do you do that?
I think it's several things that plays into this. I think for like maybe the most important thing is that the Open usually plays to my strengths. Like I usually do really well in the Open, especially if there's no heavy lifts, because I've always been good at the conditioning and like the bodyweight stuff and not so heavy workouts. And like this year too, there wasn't a heavy barbell. So, and my conditioning is good and gymnastics is pretty good. So I think the workouts just plays to my strengths. And I think also like I don't really have I'm been in like pretty good shape now. I don't have an off season. I'm not training towards some big competition happening later this year. So, which I think a lot of the other athletes are. They're just doing the Open and getting through, and then they're focusing on the next. So, I think there's several things that plays into this. But I've always liked the open workouts, which is like usually pretty good for me.
So you also like this year's open workouts?
Yeah, I didn't love the rowing, but that's the thing. One of the things that I've like put aside because I don't really love rowing, so I haven't done it that much, and I had to pay for that on the last workout. But I liked like the tests this year. I think it was overall good tests, which I really liked the first one with burpees, of course.
The burpees, yeah. Burpees and it was dumbbell shoulder to overheads.
Hang power clean and jerks, yes.
Yeah.
And some lunges, yeah.
And lunges, yeah. You crushed that one. I actually looked it up. 25.2 was a redo of 22.3. And you said at the beginning of your YouTube video, well, let's see if I can beat my score. You actually did, right? You did beat your score from 2022 by about 5 seconds, I believe.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, which is amazing. Knowing that, you know...
Yeah, I should have done better though, because I messed up the jump rope on the last round. So if I had a little more fire in me, I probably would have done it again just to see how much better I could have gotten. But
really, wow.
I thought about it on Monday, but I just didn't have it in me to go all out again. And that was okay. I'm okay with that.
What was quite noticeable at this year's Open, that most of the time, the best athletes, they withhold their score until the very last day, the very last hour. Leaderboards change at the very last minute. You approached this Open quite differently. We are in the same time zone, so the Open announcement always are on Thursday evening. And as far as I saw it, that you actually stayed up late on Thursdays. You did the Open workouts right away. You filmed all of it and you put it all out on YouTube right away, what no one else would be doing. All the other videos are only short forms and you never see the whole score because they want to hide it. Why did you approach it so differently, so openly this year?
I did that also back in 2022. Yeah, like the first 2 workouts came out at 9 p.m. Our time, so I did the workout around 10 p.m. That's past my bedtime. So, but it was fine. Like, I do it because we want to be able to give our members the best possible strategy and tips for the workout. So we want to see like how it feels and how I approach it. How could I have done it differently? What kind of tips do we give to the top levels, to the middle levels, and to the beginners? Like, are there any technical things that we can create to give them a better possibility to perform to the best of abilities? Or yeah, so that's basically why we do it. And then if I've already done it, why can't I just post my score so people have something to chase? Because I remember several others have done that. I remember Cara Saunders did it a couple of years, and it's like, wow, she goes fast, and I want to beat her. So everyone has like a target to beat. You all also have like those people on the live stream or on the announcement. But it's good to, it's very good to like see them and see like how they approach it. And then when I've done it as well, we have 2 different approaches maybe to the workout, so we can give some good advice to our members.
Very, very cool. Now the Open are over. Of course, the leaderboard is not final. It will be, I believe, in 2 days or 3 days. Well, after the Open, there used to be quarterfinals. We don't have them this year. I believe, best 1% of the Open athletes will qualify for the semifinals. What is your plan for the rest of the CrossFit season?
We'll see. I'll probably do one competition. I will announce that a little later, but at least I'll do one competition, and then we'll take it from there.
But now for the official CrossFit season, I mean, there's gonna be semifinals. There's gonna be the games, whichever games may be possible for you. Do you want to share any of that? If you have any plans to stay in the official CrossFit season, like do the semifinals?
Yeah, I'm doing one in person competition, CrossFit competition.
One of the semifinal competitions.
Yeah.
Okay. And may I ask, just in case you qualify for both CrossFit Games, which is possible for the Masters and for the individual, would you do both?
I won't do the Master qualifier. I'm not aiming for the games.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not the plan. But
I see.
I am an alternate on the team, so we'll see if anyone there qualifies individually. I might have to step in.
All right. Kristin, you said before you founded Kriger Training back in 2020. We now have 2025, so it's grown for 5 years, and oh my God, it's grown quite extensively. I mentioned, or I've written down some of the athletes that I know that they are following the Kriger Training, which is Mathilde Gans, Lena Richter, Seher Kaya, Nikki Hare from Switzerland. I believe also Andreas Solberg.
Yeah.
And I also wrote down one very impressive KPI. 12% of the top 100 women in 25.1, 12% of the top 100 were Kriger athletes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's impressive.
That is impressive. Maybe can you give us an overview? What is Kriger Training? What's your philosophy? Why did you found it? What you want to do with it? Like a little more information on Kriger Training.
Yeah. Kriger Training, we started it because we saw that the things that we did the last couple of years of my career was a lot of different from a lot of other training programs. And we saw that it really worked for me. And it was all about like quality over quantity. Focus on the details, having a purpose, having focus points for each part. And addition to like the physical work, it's also the mindset work. So working on that, the Kriger mindset every single day. And we saw that worked really well for me, and we wanted to share that to as many people as possible. And we wanted to share especially to like athletes that also was trying to reach their potential in this sport. So that's why we founded it. And I also, like, Joachim wanted me to have a group to train with. So we figured, okay, if we make a training program that we can have some of the similar workouts that we can do like in more of a group, that would be a lot more fun than just training by myself. So I had that for the last year of my career. And now, like, on some days when we have CrossFit specific intervals, we have like groups of like 20 people doing the workout together at CrossFit Oslo. And that's just amazing. And it makes me so proud to see what we have been able to build over the last 4 to 5 years. And for us, it's more than a training program. It's a community and trying to like support each other in every single way that we can. And we really want to help people, and we're trying to do everything that we can to help people to reach their potential in every way that like we work on the mindset. We try to give people or educate people to know like how can I change this program to my needs? How can I best adjust this program tailoring towards my weaknesses, for example? So we are available like in the chat 24/7, so people can ask wherever they want and ask for our help for a competition, how to prep for a competition, how to deload, how to work on this and that, and there's a lot of things, but like main things for us is that we really want to help people reaching their potential. And we feel that we have found a good way to provide a program that works for a lot of different people. And we also have like now eventually created like different tracks so that we can even better tailor the program to every individual's needs.
Mm-hmm. So I just said there are some top athletes like Matilda Gans, etc. But also there are athletes like myself with a lot of passion, but maybe not as performant as others. And I'm also doing Kriger training. And you just mentioned different tracks. I'm actually doing Kriger 60. So it's I want to say, shorter version for people that have less time to train.
Yeah.
But there are some more. I just want to mention some to give a better picture. I would say you have like 3 to 4 main tracks. There's the Kriger training, the Kriger Pro track, the Kriger 60, and then the beginner to compete.
Yeah. So that's like the different programs that we have, but also like within our main track or main Kriger training program, we have a strength track, an engine track, and a single session option. So we like, if you are on the regular Kriger training program, you can choose like, hey, I want to do the strength option because that is my weakness, my biggest weakness, or I choose to do the engine option, which is still like a lot of the same as our main program, but it's more tailored towards improving your endurance or the strength.
Awesome. And I also saw you're also actually doing the box training. You're also doing the plans for, I believe, 15, 16, a lot of CrossFit affiliates.
Yes.
And as you said already, you also have like specific tracks or specific plans, specific gymnastics and weightlifting, but also running plans and shoulder and knee rehab plans. So the amount you're offering is quite huge. Why the rehab? Like how, what's your understanding? Why can you launch a rehab, or is it from Joachim? How do you have the understanding of rehab stuff?
We're lucky to have like a lot of great coaches and also like Henrik, which is doing our rehab program. He's medical, like he does, he's a naprapat. Call it. Yeah. So he has a lot of knowledge about this, and we've seen that there are a lot of injuries because of overuse, and probably like people are not doing the movements correctly. So we've seen that like some body parts are more prone to be injured than others. So that's why we've chosen to have the option like for people who actually need to work on, they have injuries, like they have pain in their shoulders. So to be able to work with Henrik, which has that program, he gives like he does an assessment and see like, okay, this is what you need to work on, and we will put in that and that exercise to improve this. And there is a generic program where he will like tailor towards the injury that you actually have. So that's why we're like trying to, as I said, we want to help as many people as we can. And we see that, okay, someone just wants a running program. Okay, we have that. Not everyone wants the complete CrossFit program. So that's why we have the separate programs as well for gymnastics, for endurance, and for strength and weightlifting. And also like there are a lot of, like I said, people who struggle with injuries or pain, especially like shoulder, knee, and also maybe like back and hip. And that's why we want to help them as well, so they can go to their therapist, but they can also like have a program that they can combine with the Kriger training program if that's what they want.
That's really cool. I believe like everybody who has done CrossFit for a couple of years, they know that the shoulder maybe is screaming sometimes. They know that how it feels to have a little bit of pain in the knees. I believe you yourself had a herniated disc at one point, so you actually really know what it takes, what it means to get through such an injury. So that's really, really cool. I myself, as I said, I'm doing Kriger 60. And maybe if I can just like tell you or tell everybody for a moment why I really, really like it. First of all, and that's not a given, the app is great. The app works. The app is great. I don't have to calculate any percentages of any of my lifts myself. I hate when I have to do that. Like calculating 67% of my 1RM over 122.5 kilograms during the workout. I don't want to do that. That's not why I'm here. And you don't have to do that at Kriger training. That's really, really cool. And also you mentioned it, that you're answering questions. And to be honest, I haven't done this enough in the past. But if you post something, if you have a question, you get really, really good feedback and really detailed answers from the coaches you have at Kriger training, which is also really cool. And maybe one more. Yeah, no, really, I really mean that, because I've done quite a lot of programs in the past, and there was always something weird about them, and I haven't found anything at Kriger training yet. And which is a big plus, of course. We actually met at a Kriger training camp in Finland, in Stockholm. And Sweden. Sweden, Stockholm, yes, of course. And you just mentioned the community, and I've seen it myself. I've been with the community during the camp, and they were just all so nice people. So that's really another big plus as well. I hope there will be camps in the future. Yeah, but I really like it. I also went on the website. I was looking up how you define a Kriger, and just for everybody to know, you said a person, it's like a Kriger is a person who never gives up and beyond all obstacles managed to be successful. What you can also read quite often is what you said, quality over quantity. You find that again and again and again. Do you have the feeling, have you done too much when you were competing back in 2019, 2020? Does it come from there?
Oh yeah. I feel like I've done all the mistakes because I've been doing this for quite a while now. And like in the beginning when I started in 2012, like it was still pretty new. So we didn't really know exactly how to train to become the best in the world. So I had done a lot of volume. I have been pushing myself way too hard, and I've just seen that I've like the more I focused on quality and the less volume that I did year after year, the better I become.
Yeah.
And that made me realize that it's not like how much you do, is how you do it, what you actually do, and what kind of quality you put into your training. And how you're focused on details, and like how you try to get the most out of everything that you do. Try to optimize every single training session, optimize the recovery, the sleep, the nutrition, everything around training as well. And included there is the mindset.
Yeah.
So I think for a lot of people, like they train more than enough, but they're like they need to train their mindset more. And just dare to go down in volume on the physical training. Because I think you can only do so much without getting injured or overtrained. But you can always do the mental training. It's hard though. It's like it requires a lot of mental, like a lot of energy and focus. So you need to be ready for that, but it doesn't require like physical effort. So you can do quite a lot of that in addition to the physical training.
I remember when we did the last workout at the training camp in Stockholm, it was a super long one. And it was actually the first time that anyone ever told me, or anyone ever asked me, hey, Michael, during the last 50 burpees, after 22 minutes of doing the workout, what are you going to think about? Well, what are you going to tell yourself? Nobody has ever asked me that. I never thought about what I was going to think during doing burpees in 20 minutes. So, and it helped me a lot. Maybe I wasn't faster because of that, but I felt like safer kind of, because I know what I was going to do when I'm going to get there. When I'm going to go to the pain cave, I knew what I had to do there. That's actually, it was really surprising to me how much this helps on a mental side.
Yeah, and that's great to hear, because I think it doesn't really require that much either. It's just about being aware of like, what do I tell myself during workouts? Well, how do I want to feel when I'm done? Just asking yourself questions, which makes you like during a workout, like, oh yeah, I really wanted to have that good feeling when I was done, like that I actually didn't give up. I pushed all the way through. And I wanted to talk negative to myself, but I listen to myself and I'm like, I don't want to be like this. I want to like have that positive mindset and like, I can do this. I can do one more rep. And it just, even though it doesn't, maybe you're not faster, but it just gives you a much better experience. And like, when you're done, it's like, oh yeah, I want to do this again, instead of like, oh my God, I died. And I think you have a better feeling of winning of yourself if you're able to do that. And like, don't listen to those demons in your head, and instead like just take control and like choose, okay, this is what I want to focus on now.
Now I also gotta ask, are there any future plans for Kriger training? Are there any additional tracks you're thinking about? Is there anything planned? You can maybe tease a little bit here.
Oh, we're working on that, like developing things every single day. Joachim is very creative and have a lot of new ideas, which is great. We just have to do like one thing at a time, or a few things at a time. So we'll see. We have some exciting news for some new programs coming up very shortly. Yeah, so watch out on our Instagram. And then we're continuing to like improve our program and to give our members as much help as possible. So that is our main goal all the time. So we always come back to that. Okay, how can we make the Kriger program even better?
Awesome.
So
awesome.
Yeah. So if you have any feedback for us, please come with it, because we want to improve. We want to get better and want to give the best possible program out there.
Sounds awesome. Kristin, I actually want to travel back in time one more time, but not because of you, but because of me. In 2022, I took a road trip to Oslo, and I visited the Fram Museum, loved it. I visited Methallen, I think it's the big food court. I loved it. And I visited CrossFit Oslo, and I loved it. I had a group training session there with Mariam Jonsen. She did a great job. And I'm really great I did that, because as I heard, there no longer is a CrossFit Oslo. I believe it was rebranded. Can you tell us something about this?
It's still a CrossFit affiliate. CrossFit Oslo is still a CrossFit affiliate, but it's they're rebranded it to XT Oslo. It's a big like functional fitness group. Owns a lot of gyms in Norway. So they have rebranded that, and some of the gyms there are not CrossFit affiliates anymore, but CrossFit Oslo still is.
Okay, and then I have one more question. Last year, about Kriger training, actually. Last year, you sent 3 teams, I believe, to the CrossFit Games from CrossFit Oslo.
Yeah.
I think that's not possible this year, right? You can only send 1 team per affiliate. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah. And for us, that was really sad. Like a lot of the athletes really wanted to like go for a team and try to qualify. So I think like it was tough for their motivation to see that it was only be able to have like 1 team from CrossFit Oslo. So for us, that was not great. But it is what it is. You can't really do anything about it. But we will have 1 team from CrossFit Oslo competing at the semifinals, hopefully qualifying for the games. And we will also have 1 team competing out of CrossFit Furuset, which is another affiliate in Oslo. So hopefully we can have 2 teams qualifying for the games. It's very different for the teams as well, like only having an online semifinal qualifying for the games. So I think for a lot of the athletes that we have, it's just having the experience of going to a live semifinal is just so much fun. Like being in France last year and like being there with the atmosphere and actually being out on the competition floor. That's what people want to do, not really an online semifinal. So I think that's sad that the teams don't get to have that experience, but
yeah,
it is what it is. And there's a lot of other competitions that you can do on the team as well. So we'll have some other teams competing in some of the other competitions.
I believe I remember now that also I was looking up there's a team leaderboard, even though all the teams, I believe, they continue to the semifinals, like all of them. And only at the semifinals, there's going to be like who's going to qualify for the games. And CrossFit Oslo is actually ranked #1, I believe, the last time I looked at the team open leaderboard. So once again,
they're
awesome.
Crushing it. We have some really awesome athletes on that team. So super good athletes. So it's going to be really fun to watch them this year.
Kristin, at the very end, and we are perfect in time, I would, like I do this with every one of my guests, just a very rapid fire, quick CrossFit profile. It's basically going to be A/B questions. Don't think a lot about them, just answer intuitively if possible. Gonna take like 30 seconds. You ready?
Sounds good. I'm ready.
All right, here we go. EMOM, AMRAP, or 4-time?
AMRAP.
What is your most important CrossFit accessory, as in grips, sleeves, belt?
Thumb tape.
Thumb tape, okay.
Yeah.
If you hear that song or if you listen to that kind of music, you perform 10% better.
Something with a good beat. Really like hardcore music.
Okay, wow, okay. If you could delete one CrossFit movement forever and no one will remember it anymore, which one would that be?
Either rowing or deadlift. Both.
Rowing or deadlifts? Okay. Both in 25.3. Interesting. Next question. Reebok, Noble, or GoRuck?
Reebok.
Reebok. Team or indie?
Indie.
Gymnastics or weightlifting?
Gymnastics.
What's your 1RM back squat?
140 kilos.
140. And well, the last one, you already said that basically never use chalk again or never use tape again because you said you love tape.
Yeah.
I believe you would get rid of the chalk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Kristin, oh my God, that was 55 minutes. Thank you so much. It was so awesome. So many valuable insights.
Yeah, it was awesome to be here. Thank you so much.
I really want to say thank you. And I wrote down one sentence for my outro. Takk for at du her.
Bare hyggelig.
Kristin, absolutely awesome. Thank you for being here. I wish you all the best for the rest of the CrossFit season, whatever you're going to decide to do, whatever competitions. I'm going to have an eye on you, I promise that. And maybe we will see each other again at the next Kriger training camp, wherever that may be.
Hopefully, yeah.
Very, very awesome. And to everybody at home listening or watching, thank you again for being here. If you are on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. And of course, if you're on Spotify, it helps a lot. If you're going to rate this podcast, I want to say thank you and hopefully see you soon again at the next episode of Good Morning Murph. Bye.